Good morning, everyone. So it's Sunday, and we had another little hiccup this morning, a bit of a delay. It's Sunday, the 10th of August. It's 6 minutes past 8 here, so we're 6 minutes late. Never mind. Sometimes when it pops up, we just don't have it linked to Facebook and YouTube, so Jane has to come and do a quick panic and get that sorted, which it is. It's Saturday night in Europe. I'm not sure how many people will be here. You should all be out having a life, doing all those things you do. Anyway, it's a bit glary behind me as well. I've got the curtains open. Never mind. And all's good here. Jane got another compilation video up yesterday, which is kind of cool. And thanks for all the comments that we get and private messages as well about what's going on, the coverage of the MGR, all the different aspects, the tracker updates, the videos from Entrants, the posts and bits. It's all really good. Just a reminder, if you want to get all the bits and pieces, to get on board with the individual Entrants, a lot of them have got, they've virtually all got their own social media in various places, Instagram and Facebook and so on. So you can keep up with them all by getting everything, because we don't share everything onto the MGR Facebook page. We do little bits and pieces, and when sometimes we don't see them, because we're doing all sorts of stuff. So if you want the whole story, then try and get onto into like their own individual pages. So that'll be cool. Jonathan, you're here live. Ooh, way to go. We try to keep it at just after 8 every morning here, local time. But that'll be changing when we've just done all our flights and everything. We've got a few things happening. So, as I think our sailing is not working out quite right because I got to get back to sort out another boat. So we're out of here on the 24th of June, back to China for a week. I'm in China for a week, and then straight back to La Sable d'Olonne, and then shortly after that I'm over to the UK. So the times will go back to a European time that works for me. And so I'm not sure what that'll be. It'll probably be the end of the day, which could be the same as this. So maybe it won't change. Anyway, part of the course. So, and I'd like to grab a photo every now and then because we don't have a video to see what it is. But this is the boys. So the only one of these four, this was back in Portugal when John and Popeye got their 99 and 100 across out of the container. So they're there, and Canadan is there, and also Holiday Dan. Holiday Dan is the only one still left sailing. Hope everything's going well there, Dan, in Canada. If you're up there watching this, your boat's fine. It's just behind us here. We'll keep an eye on it. And so let's just keep pushing and following Holiday Dan to keep him going. Australia's the big draw card. Gary's retiring when he gets to Darwin, and we're fully expecting Holiday Dan to carry on and keep both Kerry and Renault honest up the front there. And anyway, it's all looking good. So let's get onto the tracker. I haven't even seen it yet this morning. So there it is. Boom, boom. You are on the tracker. Now I'm on the tracker as well. I'll make it a bit more space here. Come down so I can still see the control panel. So it's all looking good. They're making great time. Jeepers. They're stretching out. I don't know what Renault's doing. I've just literally turned it on. And I just shared a post from Jasmine, of course. I haven't even seen the video. I made an assumption that it's a good one. So it was 5 minutes. Jane saw it and said, "Hey, Jazz just put a video up." So I quickly shared it without seeing it. So I hope it's not anything awful. And I'm sure it's not. It'll be a lot of fun. I just saw a couple of glimpses and then was rushing here because we had to do things. So here's the fleet, really roaring along. And they're just once again, the average speeds are really quite impressive. So I'll put the bits in. Here comes the weather. I like to see the lat and long here. And why is it not there? There it is. Okay, so we'll go straight to the back end of the fleet as we do. Great sailing out there at the moment. It's good to see. So, Gary's taken up the mantle. He's really enjoying himself. I think he's probably getting a bit I won't say depressed, but getting a bit emotional about finishing in Darwin, and he wants to stretch it out, wants to make it all last longer, because when he gets there, he's going to have to trail the boat back home. Anyway, 101 nautical miles. Good on you, Gary. You made the magic 100, so that's all good. Very comfortable, probably playing music and having a great time. So don't forget to give us some, if you want any entrant that's watching this, just remember, you can count on us being here from Fiji time from 8, just after 8. You can just call us up on the phone and we do the deal. Just hold the phone there and you can watch. People following this can get an instant live update. Entrant, 4.8, 111 mile days. Yeah, very good sailing. Christian, down here. Hopefully the hole in the head is getting better. 134 mile day. No, sorry, 104 mile day. So that's good. So, yeah, I hope your head's feeling good, Christian. Jazz, 4.5, 99. Not good enough. 1 mile missed out. Never mind. Josh, 4.9, 96. She's coming up behind you, Josh. You need to get back out there and put yourself in front of Adam, at least. Try that. Anyway, so Mark's doing 5 knots, struggling to keep up the 580. Whoop, whoop. We threatened that to him when he said he's going to, hey, I think I'll follow the fleet. And so you won't be able to keep up. But he's doing a great job, so he's there. Adam, 4.9, 112 mile day. Eric and Josh are on top of each other. 4.5, 115 for Eric, and Jacob, 118. So 118 versus 115. You're keeping out there. Oh, what am I doing here? Sorry. Everyone's watching this from as if it's a tiny little group of ants. Sorry about that. I should have made that a bit bigger. So, yeah, Eric's right there. Just be tailing, trying to catch up to Jacob, who's still hanging in there, trying to keep in front. And he should do. Come on, Jacob. Okay, here's Peeler. Still in the lead pack. More than halfway between the back group and the front group. 5.6, 122 mile day. And what's Dan doing? 124. So Dan has pulled 2 miles out of Peeler, doing 4.9 at the moment. Kerry looks as if he slipped back a bit. So Kerry, 4.7, 115, and 118. Yep, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 miles. So in the last 24 hours, Renault's moved forward 3 miles. So it's all pretty much everyone holding their own in relative positions, but there's just a little bit of fluctuation back and forwards. And, if we just talk to the guys at the front here, I'm pretty confident in saying they've probably all got very much the same sort of weather in the front group. In fact, probably all over. Sea State still pushing just over 2 meters by the look of this colour. So it's sort of 2 starting to think about changing as it goes up. Yeah, there you go. I just pushed the weather up from 1. Okay, there's the today. That's today. If I go back 1 day, okay, just so you can see, that's near enough to a day, and it's building. So the sea's building, the wind will be increasing, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's starting to go yellowy. So let's do the weather properly. Anyway, but they've all got very similar conditions. So this is boat for boat, and Renault's still proving once again he's out there. He's the chase boat. So there we go. All right, we'll come back here, get it to a point where we can start to see the weather. That's near enough there. We're on the wind. So I'll get rid of that, and I'll push it through every few hours. 2, 3, every 3 hours this is, so there's 9 hours. 4, it's starting to come up. So yeah, they've got breeze coming up, and the leaders are going to get it first, the stronger breeze, but it doesn't matter because they're all over boat speed. They've all got more breeze than they need, and certainly later today they're going to be pushing it in. That's 28 to gusting 35 maybe, and the Sea State there will probably be coming through to 3.5. Let's have a look. Yeah, 3. It's going to build all day. The next 24 hours, it's starting to build, and then it'll hold for a few days by the look of it. But let's have a look. Okay, we're on the Sea State, so I might as well just keep going. I'll do that quick. There's another day. Okay, so the wind, that'll be following the breeze. the tail enders or the back fleet are going to. Oh no, it's all coming. So okay, you can see what's happening with the sea there. Whoa, that's a big one. It's getting around 4 meters there, but they might be just under it. So there's going to be some boisterous sailing. That's through to the 13th, 14th. So okay, we've seen what the sea is doing. Let's just get back to the wind. You can see it's been increasing. Increasing the first day, starting to come up there. There goes the first day, fluctuating. It's all pushing high stuff. So that's on the 11th. So they're going to go through, and fortunately, right on just on the reef, it's going to drop back to probably 20 knots, which is just normal. So the big breezes are holding out here, but as they close the coast, the air starts to lift up a little bit, and that distorts the trade winds. So that's a good thing. Anyway, that'll make it exciting and fast. So that's on to the 11th. We go on the 12th. Yeah, all solid stuff. And then it's really starting to kick in by the 13th. Yeah, there's no shortage of breeze there. So, okay, so that's through to the 13th. So that's another 3 days. So in 3 days' time, just to position the fleet, if I pick a mid spot here in the fleet, they're going to be 330 miles away. So that mid group, they're going to be around about here. So in about 3 days, they're all going to be boring towards the reef. And then if we look at the wind there, if I blow this up, they might just have a little bit of back off, but the reality is there's probably not a lot in it. They're going to have a good solid sea, a good 3.5 meter sea as they're approaching the reef, and then go through. So that's going to be quite exciting. Okay, that's probably enough there. I don't know what to show you. Let's have a look at the clouds here just to see what it's going to be like. There's a big chunk of cloud, but there's some clear. We'll come back to now. So now it's a bit mixed. That's day 1. That's day 2. Cloud cover all over. So they might be short. Oh, okay, on the 12th, it's okay. Starting to break through until the next lot comes through on the 13th. So a bit in and out. There's a big bit of rain back there, but they'll be gone. Okay, no point look at the leaderboard because they're all holding position, so that's about it. I can come back here, and if I hit that and then hit this, that's us done. So I hope you're having a good time over there in Europe and wherever you are, in America, whatever. I'll just say good day to the people here. In Belgium, good day, Matthew, Jonathan. Finally, catch it live. Yep. I hope you enjoyed that one. Bit of a quick one. Evening autocorrect. All right. That's it. You got an event thing. Okay. Jane, Cornwall, UK. Love the recent competitor update vlog. More, please. Yeah, well, basically the way that works is we just look at when the people are giving us videos, and Jane grabs the videos and puts them all in one spot. That's what I was saying. If you want to get instant stuff and the entrants are there, and I'll often share stuff, like I just saw Jasmine's coming up. We share it onto MGR, but then we do a sweep of all their sites and grab the videos and put them into the one spot at one time, and they are really interesting. We get a lot of comments at the moment, and private messaging and bits and pieces about the coverage of the MGR, all the different aspects of it, the entrants themselves doing posts, our sort of summaries, our tracker updates and newsletters, press releases, stuff like that. It's quite, so thanks for everyone that's commenting on that. We try to do it the same as all our other events, and one day we'll get a sponsor and make it a lot easier, and we'll have more people and all that. But don't stress, if we get a sponsor, nothing else will change. It's just that we can do more things and keep it all happening. So all is good. Oh, jeepers, what happened? I lost you there for a minute. Okay. Go Josh, tighten up. Yep, I agree. He's proven he was there before, but then he's just slowed down a little bit now. What a huge achievement. The 5As are keeping up so well, although they're being pushed hard. Yeah, it's going to get harder with the breeze coming now. On the wind, hi Don, could you please talk about the currents at the top of Australia? Looks pretty confusing. Yeah, the currents are quite interesting, and it changes the sea state. Just briefly, when we went across the top in Bounty Boat, we got 3 knockdowns, and that was the mast in the water, filling the boat and things like that, even though we're hand steering all the way, because the sea state gets very confused through the Arafura Sea. This was mainly after the longitude of about Darwin. From Darwin on, you've got all these currents. The water is not like clear ocean water. It's got lots of colloidal stuff in there, sometimes yellow, blah, blah, blah. But the sea's just wind waves. There's very little ocean swell per se, because there's no ocean up there. That's why it's called a sea, the Arafura Sea. And that mixed with the currents can really make it quite bouncy. Now, for a 580 with a deck and a keel, it's not a big drama, but it's going to be boisterous. You'll hear probably some of them comment along the lines of, jeepers, it's, boats all over the place, more dynamic than usual. That means rocking and rolling. And then, okay, I'll go on to the tracker now, and I'll show you what's happening. Okay, so you're looking at the tracker, right? I think that's right, yes. And I'm coming back onto the tracker. So I'm on the tracker now, and I didn't show you the currents on this lot for the first bit, but you can see here already it's starting to get kind of interesting there. But here's the big squeeze, and they'll miss this. I've got, Georgie's partner. Some of you remember Georgie from the start of the race. She's our manager of the OGR and the GGR, and helps us as a volunteer on the MGR. Her partner is going to row a rowboat from basically from Peru over the other side, all the way across to Mauritius. Okay, across the Indian. You're not going to stop. You've got to come through here, and we discussed this at length about all the currents there and how it changes, because they're partially tidal as well. I've just pushed it back to the current weather. Okay, and I'll just show you what goes on here. And remembering the tides are changing every 6 hours, up and down, so you get 2 cycles in 24 hours. That's pretty obvious. So if I just push this through, you can see what's happening. 1, 2, there's 6 hours difference, right? Now, you look at the current here. They will get affected by this lot. This is like close to a tidal current, okay, more so than the other. And if you look at the scale down the bottom here, if I move this down here, come down to the scale, here's the speed, right? The currents up there will get up to 5, 6 knots sometimes, right? That white area is suggesting about 2.2, but in certain areas where you get squeezes, you'll get 4, 5, 6 knot currents in different places. So, and that was just on 3 hours. So I go bang there's 3 hours later. You can see how it's changing. It's more defined, and then it just disappears. 3 hours later, it's turning. So it goes back the other way, but it won't be as strong going the other way. And here, imagine what's happening to the sea state. You've got currents coming from the east here, getting ready to move across as the tide's turning, and then you've got currents coming exactly the opposite direction. So what do you reckon is going to happen there? Let alone the fact that the wind is going to come along and stuff everything up. If you've got a southeaster here or an easterly, that's quite smooth. You'll just be going really well. But sometimes the wind changes a little bit up there, but wind against tide is really quite nasty. So there goes another 3 hours, right? And so 3 hours later, it's changed again. So that's every 3 hours, which is half a tide cycle, right? So it takes 6 hours to go up, 6 hours to go down. And I'm just pressing the button here every 3 hours. So that's pretty intense. Now, if I put it out over to the whole of the Arafura Sea, there we go, and I come back here. So you can see, in the ocean here, it's just ocean currents, and they're still kind of fun if you can lock onto them. But when you start to compress everything, and you've got like a funnel effect where the water's got to move through, and then a big body of water that's just going back and forwards with the tides, because it's a long distance, it's relatively shallow. That's what happens. And here, there's another one. This will be really interesting. This is part of the deal about going into Darwin. So Darwin, you can see, is right there, right? And this is Melville Island here. Now, we've drawn the course. For those going to Darwin, they might be tempted to come through here. But this is a nightmare for exactly the same reasons, where I'll hit this every 3 hours again. You watch. Oh, hang on a sec. I've got to hit it there. There's 3 hours and there's nothing. So you'll be coming down here and it's quite calm. And then all of a sudden, 3 hours later, bingo, you got 4 or 5 knots on the nose, and depending what the wind is doing, it just creates a nightmare. So why would you go to Darwin? And then here, so everything, life's good, straight down. But then you go boom, 1 3 hours later, you got headwind again, head current, and the breeze will be probably coming this way. So yeah, you've got currents, you've got wind shadows. Because if I go down to wind now, I'm going into Darwin. No wind, that's okay. But you see, no wind, it's not okay. No wind is okay for the sea, but it's no wind, which is not okay for sailing. So you're going to sit there and get pushed around by the currents. I'll push 3 hours here and just see what's happening here. So at that point, there's no wind, and you can see going to Darwin, no wind, get a little bit of breeze, it's okay. But look at that, no wind, basically going the other way, going into Darwin in a boat without an engine, effectively. You know, there goes a couple of days. And see what's happening. You could lose 3 days going into Darwin, in a 580. And anyway, so that's that one. And just one more quick peek. Oops, I pulled all the entrants down here. If we look at the next bit, and we were going into in Bounty Boat, we came across here. Oh, actually, yeah, the RFUSC sort of is all the way across the top here. We did have it just before Darwin. I said after Darwin, but we were going into Kapang here at the bottom of East Timor, and this is West Timor, of course, in Indonesia, and that's exactly where Bligh went when he went across. And we had real interesting stuff all through here with the currents. So if I come back to the currents, get off the wind, you can see what happens. Bligh got into real trouble here going into Kapang and nearly capsized, and they would have all died. No one would have ever known the story. We came in here and we got hammered by a very similar situation. It was unbelievably similar, but we had everything. We had life rafts, we had EPIRBs, blah, 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 blah. So we're never really worried, but it was ironic. And even our experience across here with the currents were exactly the same as what happened with Bligh. I was getting 60 miles a day difference in stuff, which happened to Bligh. It was amazing. We were just a few days behind his relative time. So you see here currents all over the place. And so if I just move that a little bit, you'll see, come on, the internet's slowing down. Anyway, you can see how it changes. So yes, plenty of challenges ahead. That's enough of that. Might be getting a bit boring, so I'll come back here and say goodbye. Hang on. Where are we? A bit up here. So that was a good question. Sorry I didn't give you the currents before. But yeah, there's plenty of challenges, and that's what makes it interesting too, because when you're in trade winds, it's just always just go west, go west, go west. And now they're going to have to start thinking and start facing all these various challenges, which is fun for them too. As much as it's challenging, it's a whole new mind game and more things to concentrate on, more choices. Tactically, it's very interesting. So many things are going to change very soon, the next day or two. So, Jonathan, question: could you recap Popeye's retirement, how he's now home safe? Well, I don't really know where Popeye is. I think he was here for the start and all that sort of stuff, and then he and John were supposedly going out for a few days, and John's partner was here. They went out, got hammered with the breeze, went out to a resort, and then they came back about 4 days later. But they've anchored over by Denarau, and you can see them on the tracker. They're still on the tracker because they're going to be moving around, so they've still paid for the units to leave everything on the tracking. You can see where their boats are, and I believe, or in fact, I hope Popeye hasn't gone, because we're gone in a couple of weeks, and I want to do an interview with him. But he might be back in Tonga. I don't know. We haven't heard. John is still around, or his boat's still here. I think they moved off the boat because it's just been at anchor and it was blowing like crazy the other day. And I doubt he'd be living on the boat where it is now. So I think he's off the boat, maybe staying in a resort, having a holiday. So, and the retirement, I suppose you could say it's all come down to money. It's cost them quite a bit to build the 2 boats and ship them to Europe and then sail all the way across. And they had a little hiccup in Panama, as you know, losing one of the head of the hydrovane got blown off the deck or something, and had to get a replacement. So that got them 3 weeks behind. And now John wants to. Popeye decided from Panama that that's it. He'll be very happy just to sail across the Pacific, enjoy the ride, and then eventually sail back to Australia. So that's his plan. And John is the opposite way. He would love to keep going, but he needed about 30 grand or something to continue because it's quite expensive to ship your boat back from Antigua at the end of the race and other bits and pieces. And I think he's on the limit of his budget, so he couldn't get sponsors. So he decided he has to retire as well. So we've lost 3 of the 5 Australians from the race. It's Popeye, John, and now Gary is actually retiring in Australia as well, and that's a money timeline thing and satisfaction and things like that. So he's very happy to have sailed halfway around the world, and he'll retire in Darwin. So that's about it. But yeah, we're hoping to see Popeye come through, and then we'll grab him hopefully in the next couple of weeks. But he may stay over there. So if we miss him, that's fine. We'll sort it out later. Darwin is necessary. No, it's not compulsory. Darwin's not compulsory. They can go to either Thursday Island or Darwin. But there you go. It's some big choices to be made. Interesting waters up there, sure is. Hi, Trish. In Darwin, stopover needed? No. They don't need to go to Darwin. Captain Joel, g'day. I took note of your comments about the text on the thingo. Jane saw it as well, so we'll have a look and see what happens. Finally saw masthead peeler almost pointed us up. Hoy from finally saw mad head peeler almost pointed us up. Not sure what that means, but sounds cool. Okay, that's enough. So thanks everybody, and thanks for all the cool comments and private messages and stuff. All very good. We liking the MGR. Don't worry about that. It's all good fun. Okay, see you later. See you tomorrow. Have a good weekend, everybody. Stay safe.